Let's now begin with long mode in this game, as I have saved my progress and we are now heading on to the long tracks, which means that we're basically doing the same 4 tracks again, except for saying that we're doing the longer iterations. And I am still using Takabo. Cool to know that you can save your progress after you've done enough races, and I think that's actually pretty cool and warranted. Oh, yep. This is gonna take a while to get used to. Although I don't think it's gonna interfere with my progress too much, because I now have the option to reload the game. I was clearly not ready for that. It also really doesn't help to say that you cannot see the course map on your GPS, which is kind of sucky in a way, because if you're not familiar with these tracks and you don't really get to practice on them, it's, well, it can be a bit truncated in terms of your overall experience, which is kind of what I think this is, but nonetheless, I go along with it for as much as I can. So I know precisely what mistake to not make this time. I need to actually go around what I thought was the original route. The route I'm used to, yes, but not the route I should be taking. And this time I do avoid it. As I go through the right-hander, I'm up into P3 now, so I'm closing in on the leaders. And at the moment, not doing very well in terms of trying to master the tracks. And I am still running into the walls. Fortunately for me at least, we do get more laps. And I hit the wall on both sides. That honestly does not surprise me. And up the inside, I am now out into the lead. And we have just 1 lap to go. And 235 k's is basically my top speed. I'm also pretty sure the speed is in kilometers from what I can see. And also stepping on the brakes because I know that's a tight corner. And at the moment, not doing very well. I would hate to imagine what the other elongated circuits are going to look like. I keep undershooting that one corner. I don't know why. I'm sure I would have learned that corner by now, but apparently not. Anyway, I win. I'll think of something for the thumbnails, but as to what that is, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, first of our long tracks is now down, and let's now move on to our second long track. So we'll see how we go.
We're out of here. Let's go.
I think that's Beats who just went past me. But anyway, just gonna have to remember this is not the short track layout anymore. This is the longer track variant, which I have to be familiar with. And that's a wall. Or a fence, I should say. As I almost go into the pine tree. Sorry, the palm tree. Well, at least I went the right way this time. And that tram was moving. And now the drawbridge is up. And... okay, I cannot take the drawbridge. I'm still very new to this game, so... if you want to know why my efforts have not gone very well, well, it's because I have little to no experience with this game. And it also really doesn't help when you don't get used to the map. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to restart this, if I haven't done it already. Because me not taking the drawbridge, pretty embarrassing. Because me basically taking a drawbridge that's been closed off, yeah, that's pretty embarrassing. And now I've just run into a tree, unsurprisingly. Okay, this time I must remember to not take the drawbridge. I have to head this way. Because if I do head that way again, then I might go into meltdown mode, knowing that I am hardly learning from my mistakes. Anyway, up to P2. I now just have Dan ahead of me. And hopefully for the other two difficulties I have managed to learn something that could be useful. Although it won't surprise me if I haven't. Because this is only the second time ever that I've actually played this game. Okay, and approaching the drawbridge. That's closed off. I must head this way. And now, I just have to make sure I stay out of the guardrails and the fences. I have to make sure I don't swing for the fence. Anyway, my win record stays alive for the first two races. Let's now move on to race number 3. Here we go.
We're out of here. Let's go.
And so we begin race number 3 of the elongated tracks, and those chevrons were very confusing. This was ironically where my win streak ended last time. I think, anyway. Unless it was in Japan. It might have been Japan. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm just learning about this as I go along. Hoping that for one reason or another I can manage to not keep hitting the walls, if possible. Okay, so P5. That was purely decided on instinct, nothing else. And I'm now up into P4. As I am on the brakes and almost sliding into the arrows, but able to avoid those. And at the moment, I am currently holding on to P4. Oh, and I'm not the only one who's capable of crashing a lot. Even though I still wreck myself right at the finish anyway. And what do you know, we're doing 4 laps around here. So that gives me more time to catch up to my opponents in front of me. As long as I don't spend too much time in the ice. I might just consider doing the easy difficulty and then the regular difficulty. I would consider doing the evil difficulty, but because I don't think I'm really in the best of moods right now to consider going all the way with my difficulty options, and I normally would do that, but I just want something that I know will be short and simple, and I think this more or less capitulates both of those criteria. Which in a time like this is kind of what I need. But I am getting used to this game now. It is pretty easy to more or less get used to once you understand how it works. It was entirely necessary for me to step on the brakes there. Anyway, I'm doing okay for now. Which is a good thing. I might consider doing the evil difficulty at some point in the future, but I don't think it'll be part of the playthrough because, well, I'm gonna have a lot to do in the next few weeks, and I really want to make sure that my, my organizational skills have not completely deflated themselves. Although I wouldn't think the evil difficulty will really be that much different from the regular difficulty. Or at least I hope it won't be anyway. But I know now, of course, that it's not worth it for me to unconditionally torture myself with the hardest possible difficulties in games like these, when you do have an outside life. And I'm just one of those people who happens to have an outside life, and also has things to do, believe it or not. So I won't be able to do a full playthrough of this, but I'll more or less be able to do enough of a playthrough to give you an idea of just how the game works. Hopefully you understand. Or if you don't, then well, please watch the introduction so you do understand. Anyway, we continue on. And now we have just one checkpoint to go. And through these two hairpins, and there is someone right behind me. Okay, I think there's just a few corners to go now. Even though I'm not being quite as ballsy as the AI are through some of these corners. Oh, I forgot that was just to change view. Anyways, I win! I have beaten Beats to the line. And now we just have one race to go on the long tracks. And then after that, we should have just one part left. And so here we go. As I already go off onto the gravel. And yep, this is going to take a little while for me to get used to. Anyway, we'll see how we do. Anyway. I know I'm heading this way now. Which, in all honesty, I kind of figured was going to be the case. And believe it or not, that did not come down to instinct, because, well, that was solely for the purpose. And yep, okay, that's not the way to go. I now know to not take the long way round. At least I can learn these tracks as I go along, which is one good thing I get out of this. Oh, fuck me. Okay, now I'm restarting. Okay, I figured I had to restart after that because as much as I was telling myself to not head in the normal direction, I've done it again, haven't I? Fuck me. Luckily, I do get another lap to recover. So, maybe this time around I have actually learned my lesson of not taking the normal tunnel. And if I haven't, then well, my brain is clearly not switched on. If and how I figured that was the case, well, I guess it just comes down to instinct. And I just did that again. And I got slammed into. I think I get how these races work now. Basically, it's both myself and the guy who's next to me at the back of the field, and then we're basically working our way up towards the front of the field. I had a hard time understanding this initially, but now that I'm actually starting to see how this game works, I get it. Basically, the guy who's at the back of the field works his way up to the front with me. And then we're basically just muscling our way through the pack to eventually get to the front of the field. It makes a ton of sense now. And I slammed into the tunnel. But it's okay, because I am up into second and I do not overshoot the corner that time. And now I am closing in on the leader, who is Dan. And Beats is right behind me. Before it was Nikita I was racing against, and now I'm racing against Beats. Oh, fuck me. I got caught out by that same fucking tunnel again. I am literally a shit for brains. I keep making that same mistake over and over again. I really thought for sure I would have learned it by now, but apparently not. Because it feels like my brain is just going, die! And I honestly feel like I could literally ask someone to quite literally slap me upside the head, so I know it's not the way to go next time. At least I get time to recover. When am I going to stop running into everything around me? I just want a clean lap, where I'm not just going to be running into absolutely everything in sight. I would honestly be grateful right now if I could stop doing that. Somehow. This is nothing to say it's wrong with the game, it's just something to say that is very clearly wrong with the player. And in all honesty, that's kind of what I figured it would be. Anyway, final lap. And can I hold on for the win this time? I did not need to step on the brakes there. But whatever. I am just trying to, more or less, figure out this game as I go along. Damn it. I don't know if part of me is just half asleep, or if it's just a case of my body just literally not wanting to react to the corners in front of me. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I win. Wicked. Enjoy the interactive tracks. Oh boy. I wonder what the hell the interactive tracks are. Fortunately, we do get to save. Anyways, now we get to move on to interactive mode. So we've beaten all of the short tracks and the long tracks, and next up we have got the interactive tracks. Coming in the next episode of Porsche Challenge. Just saving the game, and there we go.